Hello everyone, my name is Jovan Valmonte, and today I'll be talking about the Gundam franchise. So, you might be wondering, what is Gundam? Well, Gundam is an anime made by Yoshiyuki Tomino that began on April 7, 1979, which first aired in Japan. An anime about giant robots in space that are used for realistic warfare. So, unlike the super robot genre, like Power Rangers and Voltron and the rest, the real robot genre does not have any superpowers, nor do they fight against aliens. Instead, it is used as a glorified war machine to be used in human conflicts. War. So, what are the themes of Gundam? Well, the main themes of Gundam include science fiction, human behaviors or drama, robot action, and finally the most important being the horrors of war. So the series dives deeper into human actions, human emotions, and human connections, like PTSD, corruption, difficult decisions, love, loss of life, consequences of actions, warmongers, fighting to gain, fighting to protect, and so much more. These are significant because they serve as a reminder on the true nature of war. So, what are the social significance of Gundam? Well, here's a quote giving more of a background. Gundam begins in the year 0079 in the calendar system Universal Century, meaning it's their own fantasy, not fantasy, fictional timeline, which began with the migration of humans to new space colonies. Basically, the humans went into space and they were able to live there in these colonies. They orbit around Earth, and then at the beginning of 0079, the colony known as Side 3, now known as the Principality of Zeon, declared its independence, initiating a civil war with the Earth Federation. The unified government organized, presiding over both Earth and the colonies. Basically, people have been split to the people in space and the people on Earth. The people in space declared their own um, have declared their own independence and are now going against a revolutionary war against Earth. That's the background of the whole series. So the quote explains just the beginning of the series, and the moment the series starts, 50% of all life in the series has already been wiped from the planet before it even began. So the anime aired just around 34 years after World War II, like in real life. And Japan was still recovering from this. And so this anime was supposed to be a representation of World War II, and in the end, that there is no true winner in war, but only casualties. So the author Yoshiyuki Tomino had this idea and made this whole series after everyone has experienced the horrors of war, in order to show people what it's like, or the people who never got to understand the pain, understand what the feeling was like in living in a war hell. So, what is the overall impact of Gundam? Well, the impact of Gundam was huge in Japan and continues to spread here worldwide, including here in the West. It is so popular now that there are at least four life-size Gundam statues in total. I believe there's one in China, and then I think, one in Singapore, but I'm not too sure. And then there's two in Japan. So the entire franchise includes more than 50 TV shows. This is not including all the movies, the short films, the mangas, the novels, and even the games. As a whole, the franchise as an IP has earned around $976 million, which majority comes from model kits, which are an entirely separate genre similar to Legos. So you see these pictures on the right, you can see there's two big statues of the life-size Gundam, and the one on the bottom left are like model kits. So that's what model kits look like. They're basically plastic figures that you put together a model, right? Now, this is important to us in the US, since we are one of the world's superpowers today, and that keep getting involved in problems that aren't our own. It is important that we know like the consequences of, just simply starting war or just battling battles that aren't really related to us. Since we have such an effect worldwide, we have to learn what are the effects of wars and what can happen to people and us. So, if I were to put this in the skyscraper model, I'd put it a few under Harry Potter, somewhere around high middle culture for how impactful it was when it released. So, is Gundam perfect? I believe the franchise as a whole and its story and narrative are nearly perfect and barely need any improvements. Since there's so much media out there, if you do not like one aspect of Gundam, simply watch another Gundam show, since there's so many out there. Gundam was a major inspiration and was massively innovative in its release, paving the path for many others to write great stories like the ones in this franchise. In conclusion, if you have time and or are completely bored, then I highly suggest you give Gundam a franchise a chance by either watching the series, playing the games, or even building the model kits. Thank you for listening. Here's my works cited page. Goodbye.